Welcome to today's prenatal friendly trauma sensitive yoga class. So the poses in today's sequences are generally considered safe for pregnancy. So before we begin, let's talk about props. So if you've got a couple yoga blocks, those would be helpful. If not, you can grab a couple small stacks of books or even a few pillows, a folded blanket or two, and either a yoga strap, a belt, a towel, anything that you could use as a strap. So today we're going to start with some grounding breathing. We're going to move through some prenatal friendly yoga poses, and then we will end with some slow balancing breath. We will become aware of a couple of our senses, and we will hear a poem. So go ahead and come now into a comfortable seated position. If you're sitting with your legs crossed, you might want to stick your yoga blocks or pillows underneath your knees, or you can find another seated position that's comfortable. Sitting in a chair is another option. Just find a position that you'll be comfortable in for a few minutes. And we're going to go ahead and elongate our spine. So we're going to pull the top of your head up toward the ceiling, creating as much length as you can between your sitting bones and the top of your head. You can place your hands on your knees or on your lap, anywhere that's comfortable for you. You can keep your eyes open, or if you'd like, you can close them. And we're just going to take a moment to become aware of our breath. So for these first few breaths, you don't have to do anything to change your breath. Just turn your attention to noticing your breath. Noticing your inhales and your exhales. Noticing the brief pause between inhale and exhale. And if it's comfortable for you, you can begin to bring the breath in and out through your nostrils, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. And while you do so, see if you can make a bit of an ocean sound with your breath. And focus for a moment on the sound of your breath. Not breathing too quickly or too slowly, but hearing the sound. And you can keep your hands right where they are, or you can take your right hand and place it at the center of your chest and your left hand on your belly. And you can continue to feel and hear your breath. I've brought a tongue drum with us today to help us with our breathing. I'm going to hit this note to signal an inhale, and this one to signal an exhale. And you're welcome to move with the rhythm of the drum or to move at your own pace, whatever feels comfortable for you. Inhale and exhale. Now go ahead and make your breath natural for you, continuing to breathe in and out at your own pace for just a couple more breaths. And we'll go ahead and move now into Sufi grind. So if you are sitting up on something, you can come down off of it if you're sitting on a chair. You can also stay on a chair for this, whichever is more comfortable for you. You can put your hands on your knees if you'd like, and we're going to go ahead and rotate the trunk, making big circles or small circles, whatever feels good to you today. And we'll start to sync the breath, breathing in as we move forward, exhaling as we move back. Inhaling to move forward, exhaling to move back. You can round your back if you'd like, or you can keep it straight. You can make the circles big or small. Next time you're rotating forward, go ahead and reverse and go the other direction. And we'll begin to make those circles smaller and smaller, allowing the crown of our head to grow taller and taller until we reach stillness. And you're welcome to keep the blocks under your knees if you'd like, or you can move them out of the way. We're going to go ahead and do a side stretch, dropping the right arm to the side, lifting the left arm straight up, leaning to the right, feeling a nice long stretch through your left side, and keeping your breath flowing. And switch, stretching to the other side. Switching again to the right. And to the left. Good. Bring your hands back to your knees and we'll roll our shoulders back. And forwards. Look to the right and to the left. Tilt the head side to side, moving your neck in any way that feels good. Good. And we're going to go ahead and move now into tabletop position, so you can move your blocks out of your way. If you'd like to, you can place a blanket underneath your knees. And we're going to put the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees about shoulder width apart. We're going to go ahead and start with a balancing table. So we're going to float the right arm straight up. You can stay here. You can extend the left foot straight back. You can also float the left foot up off the ground. Keep your head in neutral spine. Press down through the fingertips of your left hand. Try to keep your left hip level to your right hip. Keep breathing. And switch sides. Lifting the left arm up. Again, you can stay right here. You can keep the right foot back on the ground, or you can float it up overhead. Keep the breath flowing. Head in neutral spine. See if you can create length between the left fingertips and the right heel. And bring it down. We'll go ahead and move through some cat-cow stretches. So on an inhale, we'll pull the chest forward, lift the chin, drop the belly. And on an exhale, tuck the chin, bring your belly button into your spine, tuck your pelvis, reaching your tailbone down toward the floor. Inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat. Go ahead and move through those at a rate that's comfortable for your breath and your body. Good. And then make your way back to neutral spine. We're just going to do a few hip circles. We're going to bring the right knee up to the side and make circles with your right knee. You can make them big or small. Press down evenly through both hands as best you can, keeping your fingertips spread. And reverse, going the other direction. Again, feel free to make these big or small, whatever feels good for your hips. Keep that head in neutral spine. Good. Then we'll switch over to the left, lifting it out to the side first, and then bringing it back, rotating around. Again, making sure that you're pressing down through all 10 of your fingertips. Continuing to breathe. And we'll switch, reverse the circles going the other way. Good. Then we'll go ahead and move into a child's pose. So keeping your big toes together, spreading your knees, hinging back in your hips. You're welcome to put a blanket between your legs if you like. And then especially depending on where you are in your pregnancy, you might take 1 or 2 blocks to support your forehead. And then walk your hands straight out in front. Walk your fingertips forward a little bit while keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a couple deep breaths here in a supported child's pose. Good. Walk your hands up to a seated position. Go ahead and move your blocks out of the way. And we're going to move into our first downward facing dog. So moving your hands forward so they're about a foot in front of where they were for tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. You can start with your legs bent. Press down through all 10 of your fingertips. Take a moment to look at your hands. Make sure that they are not turning in, that they're rotated out ever so slightly so that your pointer fingers are parallel to one another, both pointing forward. Press through the hands, return the head to neutral spine, lift the hips up and back. And if you'd like, you can gently pedal the feet right and left, bending and straightening. And then slowly, if you'd like, you can move your legs towards straight, or you can keep them bent. Press down through your hands, creating a nice long line of energy between your wrist and your hips. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then slowly walk your hands back to your feet to do a forward fold. Now again, especially depending on how far along in your pregnancy you are, feel free to spread your legs a little bit and also to bend your legs as much as you need to. You can keep your hands on the ground to stabilize you. And you can also hold on to your elbows if you feel stable And then you also have the option to interlace your hands behind your back. Whatever option is working best for you today. You can gently shake your head yes and no, releasing any tension in your neck. Let's take just a couple more deep breaths here. Good. Then bend your legs and slowly come to stand. Good. All right, moving now to the center of your mat, we're going to stand in mountain pose. So stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. Engage your calves. Pull your thighs up towards your hips. Feel the muscles in your core, the front and back core, engage gently. Roll your shoulders back. Bring your head to neutral spine. Pull the top of your head up toward the ceiling and externally rotate your hands. Relax your face, relaxing your forehead and your jaw. Couple deep breaths here in mountain pose. And then we're going to move into a chair flow. So for our chair flow, on an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up. We're going to sit back, bringing the weight into our heels, looking down at our toes to make sure our knees are pulled back enough that we can see our toes. You can bring your hands up, or you can put them on your hips, whichever feels right for you today. Keep your shoulders down, head in neutral spine, gaze looking down in front of you on the ground. Make sure your weight is in your heels. We'll take a few deep breaths here, and then we'll stand. Bring the hands together at your heart. So on an inhale, we'll sweep the arms up, move into chair. We'll breathe in chair for a few breaths, and then we will exhale to stand, bringing the hands together at your heart. So inhale, sweep your arms up, sit back in your chair. And on your third exhale, stand, bring your hands together at your heart. Do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms up, sitting back in our chair. 3 breaths. And on the third exhale, bring the hands together at the heart and stand up. And let's do that one more time. Inhaling, sweep the arms up, remembering you can put them on your waist if you prefer. And coming to stand. Very good. All right. We're going to go ahead and move now into a little bit of a balance pose. So I'm going to stand facing this way. I would recommend, especially if you're pregnant, that you get a chair to put in front of you, or you come and stand near a wall so that you've got support. So I don't want you falling and hurting yourself. So we're going to move into a king dancer pose, but we're going to do a modified version. So switch the weight into your left foot. Go ahead and bring your heel toward your sitting bone and grab your right foot with your right hand. You put your left hand straight out in front of you. Make sure that you've got a chair or a wall nearby for support. And then bringing the right foot straight back, keeping your back long. Go ahead and allow yourself to lean forward. Pressing your foot into your hand, keeping your right hip down, keeping your core engaged to keep your spine long, resting that left hand on a chair or on a wall, Take a couple deep breaths here. And come back to stand. Release the leg and bring the weight into your right foot. Lift the left foot. You can hold on with your left hand. You can stay right here. Don't have to go any deeper than this. But if you'd like to, you can bring that left foot straight back, allowing your body to fold forward, keeping the spine long, keeping the left hip dropped, pressing with your left foot into your left hand, and your head in neutral spine. Continuing to breathe. Come back up to stand and release the leg. Very good. All right, we're going to go through a brief warrior flow. So we're going to go ahead and spread the feet wide apart, about as wide as you want. And whatever feels good in your body today, you can go as far as your hands are extended, or you can shorten your stance. We're going to slightly internally rotate the left foot, externally rotate at the hip joint, that right foot out. Bring your hands straight out. Bend the right leg so that your right knee is over your right ankle. Keep your shoulders open and turn and gaze over the right fingertips. On an inhale, we're going to move into extended side angle, reaching forward, rotating the left arm up, lifting your chest toward the ceiling, and on an exhale, return to warrior two. Inhale, going to move into peaceful warrior, bringing your right arm up, left hand behind your back, slight lift of the chest. Exhaling, back into warrior two. So inhale to extended side angle, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, extended angle, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior, exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, side angle, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior, exhale, warrior two. Good. Go ahead and straighten the right leg. Turn the toes forward. This time we're going to internally rotate the right foot ever so slightly at the hip joint, externally rotating the left foot. Go ahead and bend the left foot so that it's in line with your ankle, shortening or lengthening your stance as you need to. Bring the arms straight out. Gaze over your left fingertips, and we'll begin to move with the flow. So we'll inhale to extended side angle, exhale to warrior two. Inhale to peaceful warrior, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, side angle, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, side angle, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior, exhale, warrior two. Last one. Inhale, side angle, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior, exhale, warrior two. Good. Straighten your leg, hands to your hips, both toes pointed forward. We're going to go ahead and move into a wide-legged forward fold. Now you might want to use your blocks for these, or stacks of books, or even a couple of chairs if you don't want to fold very far forward. So placing your blocks where your hands can reach them, shortening or widening your stance however you'd like, making sure your toes are pointed straight forward. You're going to put the hands on the hips, reach the elbows back, Lift the chest and slowly fold forward, releasing your hands to the blocks. Bring the weight forward so that it's not too heavy on your heels. Release your head. Take a couple deep breaths. Good. And then bringing one block right in the center of your body. Place your left hand on the block. Bring your back flat so you can turn the block however you need to have a flat back. Keeping that weight forward, not just on your heels. And then lift the right arm up, doing a gentle twist to the right. Don't let that left hip sink. Keep that left hip hugging up. You can put your hands on your hips if that's too much on your shoulder. You can look up, or you can keep head in neutral spine. Just take a couple breaths in this gentle twist. And release. Put your right hand on the block now, making sure your back is nice and flat. You can put a micro bend in your knees so that you don't hyperextend. We're going to lift the left arm up, open the shoulders to the left. Try not to let that right hip drop too much. Get a nice gentle twist. You don't want to twist too deeply, especially in pregnancy. So be gentle on yourself here. One more deep breath. And then release. Good. Now we're going to go into a low side lunge. So with your hands on the ground, we're going to go ahead and bend the right leg. Walk your hands over to the right. On an inhale, an exhale, come back to center, and inhale, walk your hands to the left. Exhale, back to center, inhale, to the right. Go ahead and continue to move at a pace that feels good for you. If you'd like to, if you're feeling really stable, you can bring your hands to your hips or bring your hands to prayer, keeping your back flat. But it's also perfectly fine to keep your hands on the ground. Let's do one more on each side. Good. All right. Bend your legs a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips and stand up. Good. We're going to go ahead and move to the floor. I'd like you to go ahead and get your folded blanket to sit on. And if you have a strap, you can grab it. If you don't have a strap, that's okay too. So we're going to sit up on a blanket to create a nice flat back. And extend the feet straight out in front of us. If they need to be bent, that's totally fine. If you need to open your legs a little bit, especially as you're farther along in pregnancy, totally fine too. We're going to bring the toes up toward the ceiling. And if you'd like to, you can reach your strap around your toes and hold on to help support yourself. And engage the muscles of the legs. So feel your calves engage, feel your thighs engaged, feel your core engaged, keep your shoulders down, and keep your face relaxed. Now the point of this one isn't to fold very far forward, but more to feel the stability of the pose. Engaging the muscles of your body, but relaxing your face and continuing to breathe. If you don't have a strap, you can just keep your hands at your side or put your hands just a little bit in front of you. Take a few more deep breaths here in staff pose. Again, you are welcome to have your legs open and also to have your legs bent. Whatever's feeling good today. Good. And release. We're going to go ahead and move into bound angle pose, and you can go ahead and slide off your mat. If you've got your blocks nearby, you can use these to help support you in bound angle pose if you'd like. You're going to bring your toes, your feet together, bottoms of your feet together. You can have your legs farther in front of you or pulled in closer to your sitting bones, whatever's feeling good. You can adjust the blocks however you'd like so that you're feeling nice and supported. On the inhale, feel the crown of your head pull up toward the ceiling. And on exhale, fold forward just as far as feels comfortable in your body. That might just be a tiny little bit, or you might just stay straight up and down. Whatever is working for you today. You can keep your hands on your feet. You can also walk your fingertips out in front of you. You can keep your back flat, and you can also round forward. Good. Walk your hands back up. You can go ahead and move the blocks, but keep them close by. You might want them for bridge pose or for our rest at the end. So we're going to go ahead and go now onto our back. So slowly and gently work your way to the ground, bringing your heels in so that your fingertips can just barely touch your heels and have your feet about shoulder width apart. And you'll have a couple options as we move into this bridge pose. The first will be to support yourself with a block. So if you want to choose that option, you can press down through your feet, lift your hips, and slide the block under the small of your back. You can put it on whatever setting feels good. You can leave your hands flat. You can interlace them behind your back. So that's the first option. If you want to choose that, you can go ahead and get comfortable in that option now. Continuing to breathe. If you'd like to have a little bit more of a flow, you can inhale, pressing your feet, lifting your hips, raising your arms up overhead, and exhale to lower. Inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. Try to keep all four corners of your foot rounded down to the ground. Keeping the breath flowing with the movement. And let's do two more. Last one. Very good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and either bring your knees into your chest. You can keep them wide or together, whatever feels comfortable. You can make little circles and feel your lower back release. Or you can move into happy baby pose, grabbing the outside of your foot with your hand, spreading your knees wide. You can also put your hands behind your knees for this one. So just find a pose that feels good in your hips, feels good in your lower back. And take a couple deep breaths. Release your legs. And we're going to prepare to move into our resting pose. So for prenatal shavasana, you want to lay on your left side. So go ahead and roll over to your left. You might grab those props that you had earlier. Maybe put the blanket underneath your head. You might straighten your left leg and put your right knee up on a block. Go ahead and play with a pose on your left side that feels good in your body. And once you've found a comfortable pose, we're going to begin to turn our attention back to our breath. So I'd invite you to either keep your eyes open or to go ahead and close them. And we're going to take a few slow, balancing breaths. So take a full, complete inhale. And then slowly, gently, and fully release the exhale. You don't want to feel any gripping on your lungs. You don't want to feel any lightheadedness. Just take it easy and breathe as slowly and as deeply as is comfortable for you today. Slow, complete inhales. Nice, long, full exhales. Do 2 more slow like that. Slow, complete inhales. Long, slow exhales. And last one. Good. Now allow your breath to resume its normal pace. And we're going to turn our attention now to a couple of our senses. Starting by noticing what we feel. What do you feel today in your body? And if your mind wants to wander through any of this, you are always welcome to let it wander. But if you'd like, turn your attention to what you're feeling right now. Maybe there's some tightness. Maybe there's a sense of release and relaxation. Maybe the ground beneath you feels cool. Maybe you feel your body supported by the ground beneath you. Maybe you feel some stress or some tension, some agitation. Maybe you're feeling relaxed. Maybe you're feeling a combination of things. It's totally normal. Maybe you've got some itching, some tenseness. See if you can notice what you feel. And if it isn't pain, see if you can let it be for a moment without doing anything to alter it. Just noticing your feelings without any judgment. And now turn your attention for a moment to what you hear. You likely hear the sound of my voice, but what else do you hear? Can you hear your breathing? Can you hear the wind or the birds? Can you hear the sound of somebody else in another room? Just notice what you hear. And don't try too hard. Just pay attention. What sounds are around you? And as you continue to welcome the sounds around you, hear these words by Donna Folds, Self-Observation Without Judgment. Release the harsh and pointed inner voice. It's just a throwback to the past and holds no truth about this moment. Let go of self-judgment, the old, learned ways of beating yourself up for each imagined inadequacy. Allow the dialogue within the mind to grow friendlier and quiet. Shift out of inner criticism, and life suddenly looks very different. I can say this only because I make the choice 100 times a day to release the voice that refuses to acknowledge the real me. What's needed here isn't more prodding toward perfection, but intimacy, seeing clearly and embracing what I see. Love, not judgment, sows the seeds of tranquility and change. And now, bring your awareness back to your room and your body. If you'd like, you can gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. You can work your way back to a comfortable seated position, maybe pressing down into the palms of your hand to support yourself and to move slowly back to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me for today's prenatal friendly trauma sensitive yoga. Hope you enjoyed this class, and I hope you have a wonderful, mindful, non-judgmental week. Thank you.